Is the focus in the national growth story, and in that growth story EV becomes so critical, so important. At Niti Aayog there is a national mission on transformative mobility and battery storage. I am the mission director, my CEO is the mission chief, and there is an interministerial committee that we take it forward. And we are always thinking how to take it forward. So when we launched the flagship programs of FAME 1, the version 2, then re-strategized FAME, all those things, PLI schemes, all those were on the line. We knew it well that until we have the buy-in of the states, we will not be able to move forward. So the first state EV policy took 29 months to be positioned. After 29 months, in the month of September 2017, Karnataka was the first state to kind of script and release their EV policy. It brought a lot of enthusiasm to us. In next 29 months, 9 states joined the league. So that was, that's all the more positive.
We should adopt EV. What is the government's business to say to adopt EV? There are buyers, manufacturers and sellers. The market dynamics will take care. There is a need. That is why we all are here. And first of all, I considered and I congratulate the Times, Policy Times, for organizing such type of events, because they generate awareness. They bring all the stakeholders in the one forum and there is exchange of views. Now, as a government, I can say that I tried to formulate one policy that is called PLI Auto. And while doing that, I passed through the SWOT analysis of the auto sector. And yes, rightly said by Sinha sir, this is a champion sector in manufacturing industry with more than 35% GDP of the manufacturing. Now, investment used to come in auto sector. 34.5 billion US dollar came from 2014 to 2019. Then what is the need for PLI? There is a change in approach of the government. We say we will give delivery based incentive. You make, produce.
By the moving day, the gap is reducing, and I think that is a great opportunity. And that's where I said that in the morning when some of us were seated outside, that the good thing after spending a large part of my later part of working life abroad and coming back to India is that when you go to the central government, nobody tells you क्या लेके आए हैं, क्यों करना चाहते हैं, पर पैसे नहीं. Now you are told, great, you've come with an idea, let's try and do something about it. Execute, and money is available. I will not stay the same for a state government as here, but in the central government, I think that's the big change I see. So, FAME, stop-it opportunities, digitization. Digitization, even for us in the commercial vehicle space, has changed life. From April 2020, when BS6 came in, every truck on bus on road is digitized. You can get in touch.
It is not just looking from the transformation of the industry only from a product perspective, but also looking at the way the manufacturing is transforming into a digitized manufacturing. So what we have done is ACMA, SIAM together, FADA, we have floated SDC, which is the Automotive Skill Development Council, together with the NSDC, okay, and we now have curriculum that addresses these areas, both at a manufacturing level and also looking at the product level. And they have now sort of the Empanel Institute that deliver. The curriculum is developed by
which is an RBI registered non-banking finance company, and we're helping enabling sustainable mobility across the country. So my opinion on what Sir just said is that this is just a start. We're only 76-year-old as a country, and there are a lot of new emerging initiatives in terms of different industries that we are trying to now propel within the country, and EV is just getting started. I mean, being at the forefront, a lot of concerns about the financial viability or the GST part or the components part, but it's just starting to get assembled. So my request is to give it time and give your best to whatever you can to contribute to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, thank you, ICAT and the Prime Media to give this opportunity. I represent ECMA, that is Emission Control Manufacturers Association. So the emission control itself, we are talking about the green mobility mission. Now I will be mainly focusing on is EV, which is representing, I would say currently about 2% of the total volume. So out of 100, if I take, it's only replaced 2% today, and by 2030 we are aiming at about 50%, and 2070 we will be carbon neutral. All the conferences, seminars now focusing on EV, and we are sidelined more or less. I see that it's not going to be there. But my suggestion or my submission to this group is IC engines is going to be there for some more time, and we need to focus on that. And there are a lot of solutions for achieving those kind of, our mission. I would say green mobility mission. IC engines can definitely, through maybe alternate fuels, like we have talked about hydrogen mission or HCNG. There are a lot of options that we can start discussing further. So that options are still alive. We should focus. We should not lose focus on IC engines emission reduction. So that, I mean, I'll be contributing more on that.
Jen, I'm part of Tata Power EV charging team. So in Tata, we are contributing in green mobility. Our group has a initiative by creating, like Tata Motors is creating EV vehicles. In Tata Power, we are creating EV charging system. So as the largest CPU, we are already covered the length and breadth of the country. We have around 3,000 charging stations, and you can travel from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and Silchar to Surat by traveling EV, by using EV charging stations of Tata Power. So we are actively working on this, and government is, everyone is saying government is supporting very much, like in state government, central government policies are there. But I think still we have some room to have some improvement on the DISCOM parts, the upstream infra and other parts, which we'll discuss later. Thank you.
ICAT and Policy Times for such a great event. And I represent ASDC here, which is Automotive Skills Development Council. And Mr. Vinny has already introduced us as we're promoted by SAM, ECMA and FADA. We're also supported by Ministry of Heavy Industries, and we are basically into the skilling, making an impact in the skilling ecosystem for automobile specific. So definitely coming to electric vehicle, which is the latest one. So a lot of have been said since morning on FAME and PLI being for the faster adoption of electric vehicles and also the faster production of electric vehicles. Yes, and a lot of positive changes are happening, but for supporting that is what we believe that we need to do the capacity building in terms of the human resource, which we talk about. You have to create that skilling ecosystem where somebody said here, right, that we do have the electric vehicle, but there is no service technician who will service that electric vehicle. So I think we are trying to capture that niche area. Definitely, it's a very nascent stage, but we are trying to make some impact. I'll definitely talk about it in later stages at the moment.
Entire ecosystem would probably include all the panel members somewhere, right? So setting up an ecosystem, selling or manufacturing the vehicle is just one bit of it. But at what cost are you manufacturing that? What are the regulatory compliances, legality aspects of it? What is the financing aspect of it? Because financing decides the adoption in the country. If NBFCs like me or banks are not providing the right kind of financing to the actual adopters in Bharat, we divide it as India and Bharat, unless there's actual mass adoption in the Bharat region of our country, we can't potentially assume that EV is going to go where we think it's going to go. So ecosystem creation is one, and how we are helping is we are the enablers, sir. Our larger messaging is financial inclusion. We want to include the 6 to 10 crore Indians that are still not part of any formal credit in the country, and unless we bring them to a decent enough
निर्माण के लिए हम इकट्ठे मिलके चले. So that's so good. मैं एक और चीज़ कहना चाहूँगा कि हम सभी अपने अपने तरीके से कुछ काम कर रहे हैं. हम शायद ऑटोमोबाइल में काम कर रहे हैं पर हमें लीजिंग का उतना नहीं पता होगा. हम ऑटोमोबाइल में काम कर रहे हैं तो हो सकता है कि हमारे कोई कुलीग ऐसे होंगे जो अल्टरनेट फ्यूल्स पर अपने तरीके से कुछ कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं. सो ये जो फोरम्स हैं ये हमें एक कनेक्ट करने के लिए बहुत अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म देते हैं. इसके लिए जो टीम शायद यहाँ पर अभी नहीं है, अक्रम और ICAT, उनके लिए एक और क्लैपिंग बनता है. आज हमने एटलीस्ट कई बार हमें लगता है कि ये एक सिमिलर सा टॉपिक है बट हम फिर भी काफ़ी कुछ चीज़ें सीखना चाहें तो सीखते हैं यहाँ से. पहले हमने ऐसा प्लान किया था कि वी विल हैव सम क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन बट आई बिलीव इट्स टू लेट बिकॉज वी आर देयर सिंस मॉर्निंग. सो वी विल डायरेक्टली गो फॉर लंच एंड वी विल हैव द नेटवर्किंग टाइम देयर इटसेल्फ.
मैं इस पे केवल यही कहना चाहूँगा, हैप्पीनेस कम्स फ्रॉम द जस्टिस, जस्टिस कम्स फ्रॉम द सॉवरेनिटी ऑफ माइंड, and sovereignty of minds comes from these type of the conferences, these type of the discussion. And regarding the food, I can say knowledge is like food. Whatever you have eaten, that is not important. Important is whatever you have digested. So whatever has been said here, you digest it and do it. From tomorrow, go for electronic vehicles as a consumers also, as a manufacturers also, as a consultant. क्योंकि किसी ने कहा है पल भर के रुक जाने से दूर हो जाती है मंजिलें, क्योंकि हम ही नहीं चलते, मंजिलें भी चलती है. तो आज से यदि हमको इस सेमिनार्स को सुनहरे अक्षर में लिखना है, इसको यदि माइलस्टोन बनाना है तो डू इट. Work for the electronic vehicles because we are for zero emission, not by 2070 as the Paris Convention, but by 2050 as our Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड.
Thank you.
एंड मैं इसमें और भी धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा. जैसे हमारे टाटा ग्रुप हैं, ऑफ कोर्स वी आर कोलैबोरेटर्स, वी आर कॉम्पिटिटर्स. देखिए इस जर्नी में जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है, knowing that tomorrow will be those kind of electric vehicles will be there, आप एज ए ग्रुप के रूप में उन चार्जिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को प्रोवाइड करके, एंटिसिपेट करके उस फैसिलिटी को प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं. सो दैट इज रियली वंडरफुल. And thank you to each one of you because we are contributing. Yeah, please, go on.
गुप्ता आपके लिए है द बिग अपॉर्चुनिटी. अनदर वन, अभी तक सुबह से आपने सुना तो है बैटरी एज ए सर्विस, पर किसी ने भी उसका प्रैक्टिकल सोल्यूशन नहीं दिया. आई एम गोइंग टू गिव द प्रैक्टिकल सोल्यूशन एंड कंसिडर दैट विल बी अ बिग गेम चेंजर. ऑल ऑफ माई कोलीग्स विल एग्री हेयर. क्योंकि बैटरी में क्या होता है कि जब तक आपको ये नहीं पता कि इनिशियल क्वालिटी क्या थी बैटरी की, उसका सपोर्टिंग इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स क्या था, किस तरह से चार्ज की गई, यू कैन. और यही कारण है, आप ट्राई कर लो, मार्केट में बैटरी मैन्युफैक्चरर जो है गारंटी देने से बहुत कतराते हैं क्योंकि उनको अपने ऊपर ही कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है. तो पर अपॉर्चुनिटी की बात करें तो बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है. तो अभी हम ज़्यादा नहीं, आपने जो भारत की बात करी ना, हम वही काम कर रहे हैं. जो आज इतनी इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल की बात हो रही है ना सर, अगर ये इलेक्ट्रिक रिक्शा ना आते ना तो शायद आज हम इतनी बात नहीं कर रहे होते. इलेक्ट्रिक रिक्शा की मोबिलिटी के कारण अब ये जो है ना बैटरी एज ए सर्विस, ये हम कहो उनको जो है हैंड होल्डिंग आप जैसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन करेगी तो ये बहुत दूर तक जाएगी. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
हेलो, हमारे पास 1-to-1 काफ़ी मैसेजिंग होगी और अगले आधे पौने घंटे के लिए वी विल बी डूइंग दैट. Thank you once again. We will open for Q&A.
Okay. What we can do on the main material marketing and even for reducing the emission. I have a 6-acre farm in sector 150 Noida, where we are setting up this bio-CNG plant. And this is all two sides. There is a big road, so we can provide land. I have already offered to the Akram for this ICAT center. I have offered to Madam Minuji for setting up the skill center, and even for the Tata, I will say that you can open the charging section. That will be powered by the bio CNG, or it can be powered. There is a 24 hours power line. And fourth thing is that we have developed a technology that is not we developed, that is the army has developed a technology that is called bunkerment technology, because at a bunker at the 100 meters, the whatever the carbon we emitted, that is to be converted into the oxygen. So recently, only given 1 month back, for using this technology for the civil purpose has been granted by the ministry and Prime Minister, and so we are developing filters so that the carbon can be extracted, and from that we are making the manure, and that has been only on the 24th, 25th and 26th we have exhibited at the National Science Center near Pragati Maidan. So we are making chrome, that is carbon rich organic manure. So we are developing this for the auto vehicles also, and we are developing for the all rich people also. Okay, if there is any like that third war is, can be any time, and if there is a radiation, so kindly make one room in each home where we can convert carbon to the oxygen, whatever is done in the bunkerment technology. So these type of we are also developing filters at the Baddi factory in the Himachal Pradesh, so it can be fitted into the old vehicles where the carbon can be extracted, and that can be converted, and that can be used for the manure, the carbon. So about the marketing, we can plan at the Noida these type of the conference. I can provide free of cost in the Soviet University or in the GNIT, so we can do this type of the conference. Regarding material, there is Praveen Sudich there. He is having lot of resources and in the China, so we can purchase this lithium cells, and if anybody wants to have the battery pack he want to manufacture, we can give the technology for this. And we have Mr. S.K. Saroj, who is the chairman of this Federation of EV, and Mr. Rajiv Sarmaji. They are themselves electronic engineers, and we are also doing the technical laboratory and the TICCI, that is the Technical Instrument Chamber of Commerce. So we can provide labs for testing. That is a world-class lab in the, that is you can say better than USH of this of one of our members. So anything what we can do is on the marketing we can set up this type of the exhibition, or even the big expo in the Noida. About the material side, we can procure the material from the China, we can help the members in this thing.
बहुत अच्छी बात। देखो आपने ये कहा कि मेरे पास अपना 150 एकड़ का लैंड है, और मैं आप जिनमें से जिनको भी सपोर्ट चाहिए उनको देने को तैयार हूँ। जी देखिए, इसका मतलब एक और चीज है कि हमारे बीच में ही ऐसे हम सब ऐसे लोग हैं कि हम इस जर्नी में बिलीव रखते हैं कि ऐसा होगा। अदरवाइज क्या होता है ना, अपनी वाली चीज को तो होता है अगर किसी और का नुकसान हो जाए। इस केस में आप इस जर्नी में बिलीव रखते हैं, तो ये बहुत बड़ी बात है, और इसके लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
This one topic, and we all are looking at that topic through different glasses. So somebody said we should, besides electric vehicles, we should have other options, alternate fuels. Of course, if I say I am coming from industry, there are efforts on ethanol, there are efforts on methanol. One of those methanol buses were launched during this month only, with 15% blending, or even 100% blending trucks were also displayed. While we have incentives, they are not limited to electric, they are there for hydrogen. If I say the two ladies out here, they are filling the gap. So one is filling the money gap, which is leasing, skilling gap. So now let's assume the second round, probably to make it more interesting, what we need to do to make that 10, 15 years of journey, what we are aspiring to become. Of course, incentives are there for 5 years. Somebody said in the beginning, yes, they have to be extended. But what we need to do, and in specific, what I will do, what me as an organization, me as a entity, what we will do, that also please mention. Otherwise, there are many gap areas which you have covered in your first round. What you feel, what you aspire to do. So maybe one minute if we can speak, because we can have then one more round, third round to cover up. Starting this time from the lady to the right.
Sure, thank you. So as I said, we are into the skilling ecosystem. So just giving a brief on what ASDC does is we start from creating the course curriculum. So you can say when we talk about electric vehicle, so we have already created more than 12 courses where we start from being assembling the electric vehicle, the testing of electric vehicle, the servicing of electric vehicle, the sales of it, to the driving of it. So we do have courses for e-rickshaw drivers. So these are from where the basic, which is what we are starting. Going further, we talk about the capacity building in that part where we do the training of trainers for these courses, so that finally they go and can train the candidates or the existing workforce. So in fact, a lot of being is being done for the servicing. If I talk about the existing workforce in terms of the technicians of IC engine, they are getting upskilled where we teach them to service the electric vehicle. So we are definitely the numbers, unless if I talk about in today's context, but yes, the start has already been done. So we are doing, in fact we're working with MHI, you can say, in developing these courses, and we are working with World Bank to impart the trainings on the servicing part of it. And we are also working with Ministry of Skill Development, where we are talking again on training the trainers for imparting the trainings further. And we are working with the industry also, I would say. So where I can say on the SAR group, which is like Livered Batteries, where we are working on the upskilling of the technicians for the electric vehicle. We're working with Toyota Kirloskar when we were working on the hybrid vehicles, the sales of it, the service of that. So we are actually, I think, making an impact. Definitely a slow and steady impact is what I am looking for. Working with the industry, working with ministries, working different set of people, and we are trying to make that. I mean, you can say increase the capacity in this for the electric vehicle arena.
You have to think from a different perspective. What you have been doing so far is good for the internal combustion engine based things. Now, for this, I would like to see that there should be some kind of collaboration with those skill councils which are working. For example, I told you Electronic Sector Skill Council of India, because everything in the internal combustion engines also, because I've seen that entire history of where internal combustion engine were when there was hardly any electronics into that. But now even internal combustion engine based vehicles, there are a lot of electronics into that. So now we need to have more synergy between electronics and this. And then the other thing is, we were talking since morning about the charging infrastructure. The charging has to be primarily done mostly from renewable energy based sources to make sense. Because again, if you are going to use thermal power plants or CNG power plant based charging stations and then charge the electric vehicle, then probably, according to me, it is not a very wise choice. So, and then the center of excellence, and then I'll finish.
I will interrupt again. What others can do is one aspect. As a capacity of what you are representing, what I will do, that also please touch
Yes. So I, on behalf of the Federation of Electric Vehicles Association, while coming here, I had already shared my views with them that we will take up this kind of challenge to develop the centers of excellence, skilling for the electric vehicle industry.
you have option to collaborate with ASDC.
Yes,
So
why
please, you said no, ASDC should reach out to you. Please reach out to them, and together maybe
Exactly,
let's
sir. That is
take
the
it
whole
forward.
idea of networking and coming here.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you.
So I'm from charging side, so I can talk about the charging ecosystem because EV and EV charging is like a chicken and egg story. Whether charger will come first or the vehicle will come first. So that is the thing. So as a group, we decided and we created an ecosystem, and we are touch basing all kind of this thing like home charging, or you can say workplace charging, bus charging, all kind of systems we are creating, so that when this journey, because it is like we are in an nascent stage. Everyone is saying that coming 10 years will be EV. It is a big buzz. Every week, one of the OEM is launching one passenger vehicle or buses are coming up. So it is like another 10 years would be EV only. So for that, we are creating a sustainable system. And like Mr. Sood has said, electricity come from thermal and then you are charging a EV. That is a big thing, but we are will give you assurance that we are working on that on the green energy and renewable part. But it is like we are just started the journey. Like if I give you an example of banking, earlier we have only cooperative banking, then we have state banks, national banks. Slowly industry will move. So something like that in it will be happen in EV. This thing also we have the renewable sources which we are creating electricity from renewable, and then we are having the EV. But we cannot say from the very first day we can run a EV through a solar energy. So that is my say. We are contributing through creating a ecosystem.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, just to address what we will be doing as ECMA. Basically, it's the last 2 decades, IC engines, the emissions have been brought down by 95%. That was achieved through ECMA's contributions there. Is making all the industry as well as the regulatory agencies aware of the issues and the solutions. So we'll continue to do that because, again, as I was talking about, IC engines are going to be there for at least next 30 years. So we need to keep working on that area. We will be continuing that journey, making industry as well as the regulatory agencies making aware of it and the urgent need to, sorry, urgent need of focus to say further stringent regulatory norms, which is already adopted by the development countries. Developed countries, I would say, where you can say take an example of Europe. Euro 7 is already declared there, whereas we have not even started discussing about it. So if we start delaying that, the whole population of current engines will keep on polluting the environment, and we will not be achieving the net zero what we are dreaming about in 2070. So our major mission will be continues this journey of making aware of the impacts, and as well as our member companies are bringing out solutions to address or to be equivalent to a, I would say, making a competitive challenge, I would say, to the costly solutions as of today, that is the electric vehicles. So those kind of solutions to bring out with the help of maybe alternate fuels or even hydrogen, CNG, and the journey. While we are going through them, there are a lot of things that we need to do. It's not just alone on the IC engine per se. It should be in the oil refineries, oil, fuel making or fuel manufacturing. So those kind of industries also we will be interacting with and bringing all the stakeholders. We will be taking them along with us while helping the government to bring out the right policies and strategies.
Yeah, this is a very important point. You said not only 30 years, we have said that 2070 we will be going net zero. So we still have time, and probably this is the time we can even taking clue from global south, what we are saying in G20. We will, like in Africa, we can provide
latest BS6 phase 1, phase 2 engines, and we can serve them at a
Definitely,
lower
yeah.
cost. And one more thing, as a OEM, we all now are thinking that we should develop engines which should be fitted for diesel, CNG, hydrogen, or methanol.
Fuel
So,
agnostic, yeah.
it should become a kind of engine for all. So those modular engines are already kind of, you will see the light and announcements going forward. That is also there.
Absolutely. Just to touch upon that, even sorry for the disturbance.
My name is Praveen Kumar Sood. I'm here as National Technical Head of Federation of Electric Vehicles Manufacturers Association. And to talk about my background, I have the industrial training partner and master trainer and subject specialist for Electronic Sector Skill Council of India for 4 subjects: LED lighting technologies, solar photovoltaics, batteries, energy storage, and electric vehicles. And having been associated with electronics industry when I was just 20 years old with the largest electronics published journal in India, which is called Electronics for You. You can check up the issues from 1975 to 1974. And one of the beneficiaries of my writing is sitting right here in front of us, Mr. Rajiv Bilati. He is retired from a very senior post and got very rich experience in what the real problems are, which we have been discussing since morning. Actually, I had prepared detailed presentations which would have probably answered all the questions which have been put so far on the roadmap which India should do, but given the paucity of time, I will just focus on two components, sir, if I have time. Okay. We have been very good in mechanicals, and that is why India became the largest export hub of ICE engine based low cost vehicles, 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers and other, which is acknowledged across the world, and statistics speak for themselves on that. Where we are lacked today is that we did not prepare ourselves for the upcoming new technologies. And for electric vehicles, the 2 basic components that we need to understand and start manufacturing in India are the high power brushless DC motors and their controllers. Unfortunately in India, I have not seen any institute, including IITs, I'm sorry to say, which are focused on these particular segments, which is power electronics related to energy storage and electric vehicles. The second is, similarly, talking about electrochemistries, we don't have a single university in India. So you name it, you search it, I'll be very happy if you can connect me with one. No single institute teaching or focusing on developing and teaching students with we are talking about the skill management on the electrochemistries. 2 of the largest CSIR laboratories working in this field, they are all connected with me. One is in Karaikode, Sikri, another is CMET, Thrissur, Kerala. This Sikri has developed advanced lead carbon batteries. They have also developed in-house lithium technology. The person heading that team is also my friend. But unfortunately, as we have been listening since morning, and I'm really appreciative the way Mehtaji told the truth on a public platform on why and what our country is lagging. So there, it is very good to do academic research and publish papers or do a plan, at the cost of the government's money or the public taxpayers' money, sir, as you were saying. It is very easy to say and do those things without putting it into commercial use. Unless, any businessman, any investor would see whether your technology is making economic sense as of today, because the world is not going to wait for your country. You are already much late, as we know. But if we do not do it even now, then probably this benefit which we have today of being very good in the mechanical part, but if we do not address the issues of the cell chemistries and power electronics, then probably we would miss the bus. And in order to understand these cell chemistries, don't talk about even lithium cells. You do your research, you will find out there are two types of cells: primary cells and secondary cells. Primary cells are those which cannot be recharged, and secondary cells are those which can be recharged. Now let me ask you a very simple question and put this to you. Lithium is not something which has come out of the blue. In your digital watches, pacemakers, you name any electronics, portable electronics, button cells जिनको आप बोलते हैं ना, they were already, I have a Panasonic catalog dated 1994. What we are doing today or learning today of these batteries, probably by year 2005 I was already done with what is happening today because of my global network. So with this, I'll pass on to the next speaker because there are a lot of things to discuss, endless discussion.
Sure, we have time limitation also.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I am the chairman of Jaivik Bio CNG and also the chairman of this Federation of Electric Vehicles Governing Board. We are making Bio CNG, we are in the Ayurvedics and we are in the Jaivik. And for these electric vehicles, we have done various research in China, USA, and for this making battery pack, which is the essential, most essential part of electric. We are working from the last 5 years. Though I brought up as a ancillary manufacturer of auto locks, because my father was having the factory of the auto lock. He was supplying to the Bajaj and Fiat at that time. These were then the Maruti came in 1984. That is after 37 years of the independence, and now we are double of this year. We are in the 75 years. So I think today is the time for the green revolution. That the green revolution was, previous green revolution was of the farmers based. That was the introduction of the hybrid crop and the tractor. Now the second green revolution is by this manufacturing of bio-CNG, manufacturing of these e-vehicles, manufacturing of the hydro vehicles, and manufacturing of the solar power at the farm. Farmers were producing the cereals, wheat. Now they should produce the solar energy and they can supply to the government. I am basically India's youngest chartered accountant, and I went to the on behalf of the government to the USA, and I was the only person in India who was awarded in the Buckingham Palace, London, for white paper presented way back, that is 10 years before, regarding the ICAT, that is the General Agreement of the Trade and Tariffs. Now, when the dollar is of the 83 rupees, India should focus on the export of the automobiles, should focus on the e-vehicles, focus on the export of the e-bicycle, and that will make the India the Vishwaguru. We have to make that the persons who are looting us by selling.
I am very thankful for this event, ICAT and Policy Times. I am from Federation of Electric Vehicle Association, और मेरे कहना है कि इस तरह के सेमिनार्स और इवेंट हर जगह होते रहने चाहिए. मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ टीम से ICAT की और पॉलिसी टाइम्स से इस इवेंट को दिल्ली में, सेंट्रल दिल्ली में और नोएडा में भी किया है, सो दैट मैक्सिमम लोग इसको ज्वाइन कर सकें. थैंक यू सो मच. थैंक यू.
डॉक्टर राजीव मिश्रा, फीबा प्रेसिडेंट, एंड आज इस सेमिनार में जो बुलाया गया इलेक्ट्रिकल व्हीकल के लिए मैं सबसे पहले धन्यवाद दूंगा पॉलिसी टाइम्स, जिन्होंने ये ऑर्गेनाइज करा ICAT गुड़गांव में, और सभी जितने भी इलेक्ट्रिकल व्हीकल के मैन्युफैक्चरर हैं, जो भी इसमें अदर एसेसरीज बनाने वाले हैं, वो सभी यहाँ पे आए, गवर्नमेंट के वो अथॉरिटीज़ भी आए। तो मुझे लगा कि अब कुछ नया इंटरेक्टिव होने वाला है, आगे कुछ ऐसा होने वाला है। तो फीबा एज ए प्रेसिडेंट मैं चाहूँगा कि किसी को भी इलेक्ट्रिकल व्हीकल में अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम है या इंडस्ट्री की पूरी की प्रॉब्लम है, तो हम लाइजनिंग करके गवर्नमेंट तक पहुंचा पाएँ उस चीज़ को, और इस इंडस्ट्री को बूम कैसे कर सकते हैं आने वाले समय में। अगर हमें 2025 के लिए या 2070 के लिए प्लानिंग करनी है, तो वो हम सब मिलकर इस काम को करेंगे, तभी इसमें सफलता हमें हासिल होगी।
थैंक यू सो मच।